The FA Cup final has ended and the victory belongs to MU, but the future of coach Ten Hag is still in question. Pep Guardiola admitted his tactics were wrong. "When I took over it was a mess," Ten Hag comes out fighting after cup win. Erik Ten Hag says he will join another club and keep winning trophies if Manchester United press ahead with plans to sack him after their shock 2-1 triumph over Manchester City in the FA Cup final. Along with delivering what may be viewed as a final parting shot before he learns of his fate, Ten Hag was unable to offer any clarity on what the future holds for him. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, the minority owner who controls United's football policy, had earlier refused to say whether the victory over City would be enough for the Dutchman to stay. United have already identified candidates to replace Ten Hag, who won the Carabao Cup final last season, and are ready to make a change after finishing 8th in the Premier League, despite the FA Cup triumph delivering European football next season. Bruno Fernandes and Mason Mount embrace at the full-time whistle after the FA Cup final. Manchester United rediscover their identity in Red Devil redemption. Jonathan Liu. Read more. "I don't think about this," Ten Hag said. "I am in a project. We are exactly where we want to be. We are constructing a team. When I took over it was a mess. The team is developing and winning. It is about winning trophies. The team plays to an identity. You need a strong squad. You need players available and there is a lot of work to do. The team is progressing and we are winning trophies. 2 trophies in 2 years is not bad. I am not satisfied. If they don't want me anymore I will go, somewhere else, to win trophies because that is what I do in my whole career." United, who implemented Ten Hag's tactics to perfection and won thanks to first-half goals from the teenagers Alejandro Garnacho and Kobbie Mainoo, secured Europa League qualification after ending City's hopes of completing a double-double. Yet the conversation was dominated by Ten Hag's position. Before the final he had said to Dutch media that the club told him they want him to stay. But the 54-year-old was evasive when pressed on whether that message was relayed to him during a review with the United hierarchy last week. "How many times do I have to tell you this?" Ten Hag said. "Do I have to repeat myself 10 times? 20 times? They don't have to tell me every week. I was in some clubs where every day they tell you, you are the best. If they tell me they don't want me anymore then I will hear it." Notably, Ratcliffe did not single Ten Hag out for praise. "It is a glorious feeling to win the FA Cup final at Wembley," the Ineos magnate said. Manchester United clearly were not the favourites to win today but they played with total commitment and skill and overcame one of the great teams in football. "We are all very proud of the players and the staff who work tirelessly to support them." Ten Hag, who has repeatedly claimed his team's poor form is down to injuries, was asked if United need stability. "I don't have to think about this," he said. "When you see the last decade, there were not so many finals for this club, not so many trophies, not so many young talents coming through. We strengthened the squad by our coaching. We also need transfer windows to bring players in and players who are always available. United are monitoring Thomas Tuchel, Mauricio Pochettino, Graham Potter, Kieran McKenna, Thomas Frank and Gareth Southgate." Ten Hag was asked if it was disrespectful that the club have been speaking to candidates. "I don't know if they did this," he said. "I can't answer this question." Responding to Ten Hag's claim that, "We are exactly where we want to be," it was suggested that the injury crisis did not excuse United finishing 8th and ending with a negative goal difference. "When you make it like this you don't have any knowledge about managing a football team," Ten Hag replied. "If that is the opinion I will go anywhere else. I will stay winning trophies." Pep Guardiola admits his game plan was not good enough after Man City were beaten by Man United in the FA Cup final. Before labeling Erik Ten Hag as an extraordinary manager and lovely man after their Wembley clash, Pep Guardiola rather aimlessly wandered around the Wembley turf as preparations were made for Manchester United to go and collect the crowning piece of Erik Ten Hag's reign. He went over to each player, offering sympathetic embraces. He went over to referee Andrew Madley and was in deep conversation over the officiating. He started waving to those who stayed behind to clap them off. Unusually insecure at the back and unusually impotent, City's first-half performance bore the prints of a squad who had been out drinking until 5 a.m. on Monday after clinching a record Premier League title. Guardiola held his hands up afterwards, deflecting blame away from the players and instead focusing it on himself. "I think my game plan was not good," he said. "For my decisions we were not in the right positions to attack them. My mistake, my game plan was not good." Mateo Kovacic had come in alongside Rodri, with the thinking to afford City more control in a congested area of the pitch. It saw Jeremy Doku drop out. The Belgian speedster only called for once the favourites had gone in 2-0 down. And John Stones was preferred to Manuel Akanji and Ruben Dias, presumably for similar reasons to Kovacic's inclusion. Neither worked and Guardiola recognized that at half-time, sending for Doku and Akanji. He was absolutely adamant that the late night at Phoenix, the bourgeois Mediterranean restaurant, and the 2 days the players were allowed off until Wednesday afternoon, had no bearing on the performance. No, completely the opposite, the City boss said. They were completely focused and how they reacted after was so good. "We celebrated well this week and when you make 91 points in the Premier League it's because the journey was really good. You have to be so proud to celebrate what you have done." Guardiola watched Erling Haaland strike the woodwork, while Julian Alvarez missed 2 presentable opportunities before United closed out the game. The second half was much better, Guardiola added. "We were more intense, in part because we had nothing to lose. Maybe it could have been different but the team was there like all the time when we lose. It's normal that teams can lose finals but this season has been extraordinary, fighting for all the trophies in a good way. Rest and come back next season. They have a parade to finish on the streets of Manchester. Down Dean's Gate, tonight before they all break up for another year." That was said to be going ahead irrespective of the result at Wembley. "We celebrated on Sunday, this is Saturday," Captain Kyle Walker said. "It's 6 days. If us athletes can't recover in 6 days we've got no chance for everyone. We had to take that moment on Sunday, because if we're celebrating now on a downer it won't feel right." After suffering defeat at Wembley, Guardiola only had praise for opposing manager Erik Ten Hag, stating, "They, United, have to make a decision on Ten Hag's future. I don't know. But he is a lovely person, an extraordinary manager. Winning the FA Cup was important for them like it was for us last season." Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to support the channel. Please leave your comments below.